is. So, so welcome everyone to this new moon in June. And hi, Mickey.
Hello. uh, you said you were talking about what's going on. Just as I wrote the word, as you threw it to me, I had just written the word chaos.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, for
that
my
is the
notes.
word for today.
Instead of squinting today at the screen of my typed notes on screen, I have written stuff out so I can just glance at it. Because this day is one for the books. But then we've had several days that are one for the books. And the book's getting bigger.
The book is getting bigger, and from my end, I know what I feel and what I'm experiencing, and the people around me are feeling and experiencing. But I don't always know how the stars are affecting us. Um, and boy, are they ever, though.
There we go. Is
There
that
you
better?
go. So we're just going through some adjustments.
Boy, are we. And on a personal note, which I very seldom do, but on a personal note, it's all going haywire. I'm hanging in there, but when you talk about, well, such and such is going on, and that's going to affect such and such a house, and it'll only be this part of your life, this house of your life. All the houses on this street have their doors wide open, and they're standing in them going,
That's kind of how I feel too. It's like not just one thing. It's like this is being affected and that's been affected and just all over the place.
well, I'm going to pull the screen up in a minute so I can actually look at the chart. But I do recall from notes I was making last night and such. The big planet happening right now is what Saturn is doing. Now it's true. I've been talking about Pluto, the intimidator and stuff, but he's joined up with Saturn, who is the meanie and the father figure, who says, you know, you better do this and you better do that and don't forget to do this and discipline and lack and suffering for a cause. And but the two of them are together, and now we've got the sun and moon say, well, we'll get together too. Remember, they were apart the last time we all talked
Right?
because they're doing the opposition. That's the full moon. It's wide and everything is falling out that we put in there. The new moon is when you program.
Yes.
Well, as we approach the idea of programming anything, the sun and the moon now are together and says, yeah, well, we're stronger now. Now you just try it if you dare. Well, there's nothing that Pluto likes better than a dare. So there's a lot going on. And one thing about astrology that I love is that when someone says, do my chart, and you look at it, you're talking about their life. First house is your personality, and the very 10th house at the top is your how you're seen by the rest of the world. So it's your career and what folks see, and blah, blah, blah around the circle. But that's when you're reading you. Now, there are people, hundreds of them in clubs all over the world, whose approach to it is to look at all the events in the world, to look at each country. Every country has its own chart, you know. Every
Mm.
idea has its own chart, etc. So these people examine what's in the news, and they can track back and say, and that was because of this, and that was because of that, and this was the influence working. I shouldn't say because of, but this influence was causing, not causing, but helping us to think of certain types of things, bringing those kinds of issues up. So you look at the chart, instead of saying what is happening in my life, you're looking at what's in the world's life or your country.
Hmm.
And each planet represents a different influence within that context. It's the same chart. When we're looking at full moon, we're looking at now and it's full, but we change the context that we use as we examine it. So I looked at my own chart and I went, ah, and then I looked at what's going on in the news and I went, oh. So And then, you look at other things, you look at your bank and go, holy cow. And so in every instance,
So
just pick a house.
So it sounds to me like it's every event's or country's or place's birth chart. So when you talk about your birth chart,
Right,
you're talking about an event's birth chart or a country's birth chart.
right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we astrologers look at the moment that the charter of that country was signed, or the independence declaration in our case, or the Constitution. You can tell what's going to happen to the Constitution by looking at when it was signed, and it
Hmm.
has a birth chart. Well, we all know the Constitution is taking one heck of a beating right now. It's going through some stuff just like we are.
Hmm.
You see? And so if you look at the world of finance, it's all over the place. It's running for its life, trying to keep the status quo. Well, this is what we had. Yeah, well, it changed 10 seconds ago. So, that's a very volatile world and
It
whatnot.
is. Volatile is the right word.
Yes. And right now, it's really hopping up and down, hopping up and down. You know, that old song, that not song, that old game about stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. Well,
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
the vibe in the stock market is doing right now.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, while they're announcing what it is, you can see the eyes darting at the screen. Oh, it just dropped another 1,200 points, whatever. But I'm saying that to say that this thing when we say Saturn rules, it's the father, it's the admonition to clean up your act and take personal responsibility. Well, the world has the same message: take responsibility. And that's what's going on. So, my thing now is today, what is it that makes you feel safe? Because it's all about safety issues.
Okay.
Now that will happen, questioning your feelings of safety will happen in different ways for different people. Sometimes if it's something, don't say anything about my children, I go nuts. Or don't worry me with something happening with my husband or my relatives or my money okay, or.
Right.
So every chart has those issues, but they won't happen to you in that part of your life the same. You see? So, my question to everybody now is look at what makes you feel unsafe and see what part of your life is that happening in. The only person out there in the audience that's going to be able to look this up immediately is Audrey because she's had hers done. She was the one who provided us with her birth stuff, and I sent her her chart. So she has it, and I know she can look at it immediately.
And our Audrey is on. Hi, Audrey.
Hi, sweetheart. We're using you as a poster child today. But I would say to you, if you take out your chart and you look on it for the planet Saturn, okay, and it looks like an H with a tail and a cross on top, you know. In fact, I'll put one on this piece of paper so you can see exactly what to look for. And that's what it looks like. And I think it's got it backwards on the screen.
No, it looks right. It looks right to me.
Oh, okay. To me, I'm looking at it in reverse, but that's what Saturn looks like. And that's where you will find what part of your life is particularly affecting more than others. I mean, it will affect a lot of things, but you want to find out, well, where is it? Okay.
So you're saying for everybody that has their own chart,
Right. Look
it
for Saturn.
look for what house Saturn is in. So for
Right.
me, Saturn is in my sixth house.
Okay. So anything having to do with your various businesses and issues with employees or coworkers is going to be very highlighted right now. And
Okay.
it will cause you to suffer a few lacks. There'll be things you need you can't get your hands on right now. There will be a little bit of yada, yada, yada between various members of that little world and connected group of people for you.
Okay.
Um, and a lot to do with your sense of determination and dedication,
Mhm.
and finding that there are things that are keeping you from being as effective at controlling that as you would like to be, you know.
Interesting.
So anyway, that's what it's all about. There's some very, well, it's actually ancient information, but we as a group of people in the US especially are beginning to care more about astrological issues.
Sure.
So we're paying more attention to how, what is it in our now that makes us feel safe? We now can talk about this to the public instead of just me and you, two people interested directly in astrology. People generally are paying attention. They want to know, oh, safety. Oh, I better pay attention. Oh, let me take a look at my finances. Oh, let me make sure I locked everything down.
Hmm.
Um, I want to make sure that I've done all I can to see that my children are safe. Ooh, I just took them to school. I hope they're safe there. I made sure that they had an umbrella when they needed it. They had lunch when they needed it. I've taken care of seeing about their safety and their welfare. So, whatever way this has come up, that's where you need to concentrate right now to put things back the way they ought to be. There's not much you can do about ensuring that in the world scene, but we can have a great effect by simply saying to ourselves, whatever is supposed to be going on right now in the world is going on right now in the world. All that is in charge. I can't change all that is except through a satellite. And God's satellite is, guess who? Us. So you change yourself. You change your own ways you think about your safety. Change how you see your world. Change, you and I have both been through a lot of stuff that's popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We're used to talking every day, several times a day. And
Mhm.
for the last whole month, it's been hard to even be on at the same time.
Right, right, right. We've only
Okay?
really gotten together about once a week. And
Right.
twice of that times is right here.
Yes, exactly. And the thing
It,
is, we see what each other is messaging. So Mercury's working,
yep.
communication is there, but it's not live. Saturn is all about death,
Right. The timing is
stuff with
all.
dead issues where things are nil point, as they say over here, no points. There's
Mm,
no horizon, nothing, it's all below the horizon right now. Stuff
mm,
is happening, but it's kind of doing it. Saturn is like dealing with a mine, things that are buried.
uh-huh.
Okay, so that's what's going on.
Would you like Audrey to tell us to type where her Saturn is?
Yeah, if she doesn't mind.
If
I
you
mean,
would like
this
to,
is
Audrey, go
a
ahead.
personal thing. It's a personal thing that I didn't
It,
ask.
right. If you
If you're
would
willing
like
to
to.
share, yeah, I'm not asking you to give your birth information because whenever you
No.
do, you're giving someone a map to your soul. It's the actual readout. It's like going to the doctor and saying he does a full exam and then you go and post it on Facebook. No. So you wouldn't do that.
Some people do.
Well, some people are idiots. We know that. We've got enough examples of that. So,
She's looking for it.
I have it too. So,
Oh.
remember, I did it. So, but it's hey, it's the message I've been trying to pull up for the last 3 months. I've been saying quietly, look, get ready, kind of watch yourself. And,
Yeah.
guess what? It's here now.
It is here and it's full force and
Full
you
force.
mentioned chaos. Yeah. And yes, the world feels like it's in chaos. It also, so something that happened to me yesterday was it was like I was on one timeline and then a couple of hours passed and then all of a sudden it seemed like I was on an entirely different timeline.
Yes, me
And
too.
And it was a much better timeline than the
Yes.
first one. So things did get a little bit easier. Uh,
My reaction to what's going on lightened. I found I was less bothered by what was going on. The circumstances didn't change, but my reaction to it did. And that's how you change it. I stepped into a different timeline
yeah.
by changing my belief approach. And that's not that easy to do.
And and I guess I wasn't even really consciously thinking about doing it. It's something that happened because I got very distracted in between those times. And in that distraction, there was joy. There was
Yes.
there was fun and happiness. So I had a couple of girls
You
that
were
came over.
distracted from the
I
worry about safety
I, I was,
and allowed the joy in.
but then when everyone left and I came back to, looking at the news, it was not nearly as dire as it was prior to the joy happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whether that was me that changed or the world that changed,
Or you change
something changed.
your now. You stepped into a different one. It's like Bashar says, we choose, what is it, 3 million times a second or something like that? So you started to dial up a different order on your takeout. You
Yes,
take in.
yes.
By
And
the way, Audrey, I do have your chart up. So if you can't find it, I have it.
oh, said she thinks it's in her sixth house as well.
That's where it is. That's exactly where it is.
So her and we got Saturn in our same house.
That's right. So issues having to do with the things you consider to be your job, your work, or coworkers, or people who you talk to about your job, whatever it is you do for a living, whatever way you are provided for, those are the issues that will come up. Your feeling of safety will be a little bit wobbly, what have you. So just catch a grip. As I said, keep walking. Don't look to either side. Take your homies and pull them close, and y'all hold hands and walk down the road.
So that is so funny you said that because Karen is now on. Hi, Karen. And
Hello, Karen.
she's one of the girls that was here at my house yesterday. She said, we
Oh,
were together to bring you peaceful breath.
oh, that's nice. Oh,
It
I
is.
love the way you said that.
Well, she's
Peaceful
my
breath.
she's my massage therapist. So
Oh, wow. Yeah, you have quite the hands of
yeah.
control,
Thank you,
controlling the
Karen.
safety feelings. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
but it was, I mean, I know things like this have happened to me in the past, but yesterday it was like night and day. And
Mm,
I was very aware of it, that there was a shift. As a matter of fact, I got right online and I told you, of course, you weren't
yeah.
online at the same time,
Oh,
but then
oh,
when
yeah.
you caught up with it, you felt that same shift.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
I wanted to ask Karen, as a massage therapist, are you aware of any particular way that people's sense of jeopardy or feeling of not being safe, does it manifest in terms of a certain part of the body, or is it different for each person? Or how do you approach when a client is not feeling safe, is not feeling kind of grounded and whatnot? How do you approach that? I'd be very interested in knowing what your thoughts are on it, because that's a very hands-on, literally
Yeah.
couldn't resist
Very
that point,
literally.
but you have a very hands-on view
Mhm.
of the stuff coming in to the body, and how people react to it and whatnot. So we may want to talk to you at some time even more officially about that if you want to share that
Ooh,
with us. That would be lovely to hear your thoughts as a massage therapist, because you
great.
really are in there. You really are on the front, so to speak. You're on the front line
She's
of how
either
the
on
body handles, how it deals.
she's either on the front line or the back line.
Hey, we won't go there.
Well, Karen, you can type your message or you can send it to me later,
Mm.
or I would be more than happy to Zoom you in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let us
But
know
if
what you.
not today, then another time. Because these issues that we're talking about are kind of building now. This is gonna bloom. And we will definitely be pulling your code to say, what do you think about so and so? Even if we don't tell everybody, you can tell us.
So Karen said it's different with each person. She
Ah,
holds more than their body. Now, Karen is
ah,
also a Reiki
ah,
practitioner.
what
Uh,
a wonderful combination.
yes. Well, I have taught many massage therapists, and they like to
Ah,
incorporate Reiki with their practice. Also, odd as this may sound, but servers, waitresses, waiters, they
oh,
also seem to come here a lot. Yeah.
okay.
Now, for
You
me,
know,
Reiki wise, it is their heart. It is
yeah.
their heart center, is their safety.
Okay.
However, to hold someone when they don't feel safe, I have found it's usually their hands or their feet.
Oh,
So you mentioned grounding, and I thought how interesting that sounds.
yeah.
But holding someone's hand is so significant when they are feeling unsafe.
Yes, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Very interesting. Well, there are other avenues that we can explore as we have our conversations, you and I, because we haven't branched out a lot, but there are so many other areas within which to register our awareness, so be aware of this and be aware of that.
Absolutely.
Uh, I'm just very, very pleased to have the opportunity to understand where all this stuff comes from. By being an astrologer, you get a different view instead of just waking up every day waiting for it to happen. You have 2 days before that heard that this is coming and that is coming, and you're trying to prepare, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's all about what is it that makes you feel safe? That's the next thing. When you notice what it takes to make you feel that way, then the next thing is, well, what are you willing to do to
Mm-hmm.
give yourself the feelings of safety? And for some people, it's drugs. For some people, it's alcohol. For some people, it's their partner's attention. We
Mm-hmm.
each have a way that we create that for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But now's the time to pay attention to that, because whatever that is that you do, be sure you have a bunch of it because you're going to need it.
Mm.
Be sure you're ready to make yourself feel better at any moment that you need that. You
Yes.
know.
Yeah. Um, Boy, a strange thought just came to me is do certain organs in the body coincide with certain planets? They
Yes,
do. Oh my God, really?
absolutely.
Oh, I would love to delve into that a little bit.
Well,
Maybe
you want to know what your sign is?
my sign, my,
Which one, the organ for your sign?
oh, yeah. Oh, so okay. Yes, go
Every
ahead.
sign has a certain part of the body that it rules.
Oh,
And this Leo, it's the heart.
somehow,
Since you just mentioned the heart,
somehow I knew that.
and we won't be discussing the part I rule very much, but
Uh,
I can
People,
show
you
you
can
a
you
picture.
can look it up, Miss Scorpio.
We
Oh,
could easily become a porn site. I will show you one moment.
oh, you're making my eyes water. Oh dear. So the sun rules the heart. So each planet rules a different organ in
Yes,
the body. Oh, that's interesting.
sign. Each sign, because the planets rule a particular sign, then signs have things within them that are all about a particular system, for
So
instance,
for me, it
as
would be
well as a particular
sun,
organ.
Leo, heart.
With you, it would be circulation.
Okay. All right.
You see what I mean? You can speak of it as a system, or you can speak of what part of my body does this rule, and it's specifically the heart. But that is saying things about circulation
Mm-hmm.
are
Okay.
things to be careful of and watch for, and kind of.
I didn't know, I did not realize any of this. This is fascinating. You tell me that tarot and astrology go together. I can see where you can mix Reiki into that and where
And
your
another one.
body.
How do you say ho'oponopono?
Oh, Oponopono.
Ho'oponopono?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. That's another one that's a great tool, like with Reiki,
it
for
is. Yeah.
directing your focus on a particular part of your life, or yourself, etc. I'm using it, I can almost say nonstop. I have a video where it gives you that phrasing before statements over 1,000 times. So you can put that on, and it's just, going over and over and over and over each of the four phrases.
Now, for those that don't know it, it's I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And,
Yeah.
and in any order you want them in. And the thought process is that you are talking to your higher self. So,
I was doing some research because in my creating feelings of safety, I was particularly concerned about some political issues. And I was distraught. I was, well, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? You know, and it led me right into, how do you say it?
oh,
Ho'opono-
oh, pono, pono.
Ho'oponopono.
No,
Okay.
oh, oh, pono, pono.
Oh, Ho'oponopono. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And
Because I
that's
always
exactly
thought,
how it's spelled. Exactly.
yeah, but I never knew how to accentuate the syllables to
Oh,
get it to come
oh,
out right.
pono,
And I get
pono.
all caught up in the onoponos and whatever's. I had too many, but, but it's something that from the research and after much meditation, I was told that I can't go out and change the politicians. I can't even get an audience with them. I'm not even in the same country, blah, 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 blah. So it's all about, you can't do it this way, you can't do it that way, you can't. But what I can do is to have a very direct effect. You don't try to talk to them, you don't try to reach them. You fix you.
It's all about you.
Okay? And it's not to say I'm responsible for what they're doing, but I can affect every one of them by the vibrations I give myself.
Yes. Yeah.
So as I do the four statements over and over and over, I am affecting them a lot. Now, the more people you can get doing it, the greater the effect we can have. But
Yes.
it's direct and it does not play.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very effective.
So for those that want more information on that, I'm trying to think. It's Dr. Hewlin.
Yeah.
Dr. Hewlin. What is his last name though? It's oh my God, I should know this.
Yeah, and I just looked at it. But what you can do is I just simply put in the word Ho'oponopono,
Yeah.
and I put that in on
YouTube.
YouTube
Yeah.
and
Um,
brought a lot of different versions of it, saying it over and over
yeah.
for you.
Joe Vitale and Dr.
Yes,
Hewlin do a class together, and it's a very inexpensive class. I think it might be like $35.
yeah,
And it is, and Dr. Hewlin has passed away now, but he's got
right,
recordings of him actually teaching the class.
right. That's
And
what I'm using.
it's an amazing, amazing class and process. And the story of how it came about. So it's
Yeah,
a
that too.
very ancient Hawaiian practice. And it
Right,
used to be practiced within a family, and Dr. Hewlin expanded on that.
right.
Yeah.
And astrology does the same thing. We all talk about having our chart done. But when you can get a whole family to do their chart and you look at the dynamics happening within a family, they all agree to come here and be a family working on certain issues. Each
Mhm.
one has their own particular focus, That's your chart. But a family is a unit that has little parts, and they all have a goal to create on Earth they're trying to accomplish. So
Mm-hmm.
all of those are ways that you can look at and address getting more understanding, getting more awareness of what's going on in your life. And I tell you, everybody, I feel for you because this is some other stuff that's going down in terms of how it affects you. And I know that everybody has had some drama pop up and do it okay in this way and that way. And hey, this is
Oh, yeah.
real serious stuff. And
Yeah.
it's going to be serious for a while. So
Now, a lot
we've
of
got to hang together.
exactly, and that is so important. Just collect with like-minded people. So many of my friends have not necessarily, they haven't had health issues, but it's been somebody very close to them. And
Right.
it's for my group of friends, it's been almost one removed from them, but it is affecting all of us.
I have lost, I think, 3 friends in the last week and a half. And I mean, that's just earth shaking. In one case, it was someone quite young.
And
So,
a son-in-law.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So, and to tell you, to illustrate something, when I say about Saturn, it causes things to slow way down. These things that it brings don't just hit and leave. They take a while. You have to grind at them and chew them. These things take a while. Well, in the case of losing the son-in-law, he passed over a month and a half before he was finally sent on his way. Like a a family thing.
Interesting.
Because one thing after another caused a delay and an interruption and a disruption and a delay, and people were tearing their hair out. Look, we've got to do this. And finally, you get the release of having accomplished what you were focused on.
Right.
You know. So the fact of it and the culmination of it were not boom, boom, boom at all. They were quite slowed down, which is it's the absolute signature of Saturn.
Okay.
It delays everything. It's the not exactly like Mercury does things. It's boom,
Right.
boom. This is going. This is the
Mhm.
communication. I told you this. No, you didn't. Yes, I did, and I'm going to do so and so. That's the way Mercury moves. It's fast, fast, fast planet. You
Right.
know. But Saturn is super slow. Pluto, even slower.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's all a process,
It
and
is.
it's a practice. You know, we say we do a practice, and it really is. We have to practice every day, either doing Ho'oponopono or whatever it is that you do to make yourself feel safe.
Yeah, that was one of my notes. Was what are you doing to feel
Ah,
safe?
yes.
That was the third point. And after you answer that, what are you doing in this moment that feels safe? We have little things we do as we're thinking, while we're looking at TV and a thought comes. We don't always just absolutely, I'm going to focus on blah, blah, blah. We don't always do it that way. We just, things go by in your head and you need something is bugging you and oh well I don't want to think about that, I'll think about this instead. Well, that's what you did in that moment to make yourself feel safer, but
Hmm.
you can control that. You can figure out what you want to do to use as a band-aid for those feelings of unsafe, you know and this stuff is important. Now it's always on, that sense of either safety or not, but those issues are always on. Why? Because Saturn rules your bones. It rules the skeletal system. That's because it's all about foundations. And
Hmm.
that's how you hang all the meat suit we're wearing. It's hung on a frame. Saturn is the frame. It's the basis. It's get this stuff right before you can work on anything else.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
see, so it's the structure, it's the scaffolding. You can't
Hmm.
work on the building until you get up on the scaffold so you can reach all those places that are hard to
Hmm.
get to. So that's what this is all about. And because of having done the work, then you know that the last part of this all will be about the purification that comes from having done the work. So when you look out at the world, there's stuff going on. It's all blowing up all over the place. But know that there is a great deal of purification happening and to come. That's about the most positive way I can say it. You know, astrologers constantly challenge themselves to be careful of how you say what you say, because you want to project positive vibes at every
Absolutely.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
And
you remind me of that all the time.
it,
You're so positive, sometimes it drives me nuts.
it's hard to always, but you can always flip the worst things to a positive. Wait till you hear the meditation.
Is that a promise or a threat?
It's a practice. So, I had an idea for this journey, and it's a little different than I've done in the past, and it's come up for some of my friends that, they're like, oh, I've done this and I've done this and I've done this and I'm just stuck and I don't know what to do. And all of a sudden I thought of this, and I hadn't thought of it for maybe 10 years is when I learned about it.
Wow.
And I knew I had the book, and I pulled the book out, and I found it in the book, and so I would like to share that with you guys in the journey, and then I will, give everybody about 10 minutes to journey on their own after they've heard
Yeah.
um, at what I'm going to put forth, and I think it will be helpful to people. It was very helpful to me, and I'll tell you this: it was very. Um, I got an immediate answer. Like it took less than 12 hours. Like I
Oh,
went to bed, and this is like I said, like 10 years ago. I was doing this meditation, and I did it until I fell asleep. And when
yeah.
I woke up the next morning, the conflict that was going on that I was meditating on was over.
Oh, wow.
It had been going on for days, my husband at the time, he's like, well, I don't think that the, war people would like you to say that you're the one that fixed it. But you know
And
what?
yet we are.
And yet we are, and it did,
We
whether.
created it and we fixed it.
And absolutely. And when you have something, and this was the very first time I ever tried it. I had listened to, as Greg Braden, I was listening to him, and I practiced it, and the conflict that I worked on ended the next day.
Great.
And then I kind of didn't do it anymore. And like, why not?
Well,
So
I'm glad to hear you say that because 2 days ago they thought I wasn't aware that I was doing it. It just happened like that, you know? So I know what you're saying is true. And I can't wait to knowingly and purposefully control doing it too, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Because it just happened that way that I was so worried and I fell asleep being, meditative and went to quantum and said, look, I throw my hands up here. You got this. You do this. Because I know you've got it. So why am I even worried? And sure enough, when I woke up, the solution was in my mind as if it was a thought I had had all along.
Oh, nice.
Why didn't I think of that? And,
Well, I've always told all my students, I'm like, don't even think twice about throwing my words back at me, because I can think of things that I know it deep down when other people need them. But when I
right.
need them, they just don't seem to come to me that easily. So in doing something like this, every time we get together, something comes up that day that says, this is what you need to do. This is what you
Right.
need.
Right.
It'll help. And so, anyway,
You're
that's.
a lot better at that than I am. I'm forever looking to you when I want to do that. That's something I associate with you.
Mm.
being able to call that up. I'm always flailing, saying, "What in the world?" And you go, "Don't you know you have to do it like this?" And I'm, "Oh, I forgot. I forgot
Oh.
you can do that."
Oh, thank you. Now,
Yeah.
generally, I do the meditations. They're not really planned, not entirely. I have a theme, I guess. Um,
Right.
and sometimes I just go with what comes to me as I'm going along. But this
Sure.
one is right now.
That's fair.
This one is
That's
right now
fantastic.
because it's important words and it's something that I literally have not looked at for 10 years. Um,
Well, this this time that we're in, like right now, is is something that has come up and relieved the tension to a great extent, where it wasn't like that just last night. And
mhm.
it's I became aware at a very late point last night that, oh, I feel a little bit better. Oh, I'm not as worried. Oh, for some reason the whole atmosphere is lighter. I
Okay.
became aware that stuff was in the air differently, and
Mhm.
I felt better. I felt safer, etc. And it's gotten better and better from there. So the timing for this journey is perfect.
Oh, good, good. All right. Do you think we're ready?
I sure am.
All right. So, we're gonna start like always, 3 to 1 count. I'll count you down the 10 steps, and we're just gonna stay in our meditation room, right? It's just gonna
Okay.
be simple and easy. And
That's simple and easy.
I will give all of the story, and then you guys will have time to journey on your own with
Hmm.
what comes up to you because it will be different for every person, right?
Yes, it was.
So,
You know how much lighter everything is today?
the gift of the blessing.
Oh,
Oh, I sent
oh,
you the page from the book.
yes.
Yes. So the gift of the blessing, and
Right,
it's very beautiful. And when Greg Braden did it in the book, it was very specific to a certain.
right.
I kind of changed the words a little bit to make it more general,
Oh, that's good.
but general to what's happening today.
Yeah, I
So
love that site, by the way. I get posts from that group
yes,
every day, at least what, 10, 12 times. It
yes,
pops up and
I
it
love them
always
too.
is
It,
perfect for that moment.
Yes, yes, him, Joe Dispenza, Joe
Yeah,
Vitale. I mean, God, there's
yeah,
so many wonderful people to listen to and listen to them all. Listen, pick the one you like the best, or, and they change as you change as
right.
well. But I will put into the comments and especially the post in YouTube, I will put in how you can see the one that Greg did and hear his
Hmm.
words because they're just a little bit different than mine. Like I do not want to copyright infringe him.
Yeah,
This is his work, and I just want to share it with all of you.
yeah.
Okay. There is going to be, I'm going to play music during our quiet time, which is unusual. I don't usually do that. But there's so many things came to me today. Do this, do that. I'm changing almost everything I'm doing. So it's a time of change, and this is kind of my work. This is my work and what I want to do. And now that you're telling me that Saturn is in my workplace, it almost feels like I am driven to follow my instincts when it comes to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Everything.
I'm excited about that.
All right. So for now, I would just like everybody to just relax as best as you can. Sit back, support your head, just be comfortable. Close your eyes. We're going to do the 3 to 1 count. And then I'm going to count you down to your meditation room, deep within the safety of your heart space. Ready? So we take a deep breath in. 3, 3, 3. Again. 2, 2, 2. 1, 1, 1. You are now in a deeper frame of mind. And we're going to go deeper still. I want you to imagine that you're standing at the top of a staircase, looking down, and there's your meditation room. And we're going to go down the steps slowly, one by one, and I will count you down. You're standing at the top of the steps, step 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you find yourself in your meditation room, a very familiar place. You have a fire, a fireplace, or a candle. There's your quantum door. There's your lab door. And you have all the furniture around that you've decorated with. Well, I would like for you to just either lay in a recliner or on the couch there. Just lay and get comfortable and close your eyes. And we're going to relax our body right now, getting rid of any tensions that you may be holding on to. We're going to start at the top of your head and just focus the top of your head and then release that. And focus on your face, your eyes, nose, cheeks, mouth, and release any tensions. Part your teeth very slightly, relaxing your jaw. We hold so much in our jaw. Just let any tension just flow out. Focus on your neck and release. And your shoulders, let them droop down. Release any tension being held there. Your arms, your hands, your fingers. Release. Focus on your chest. You can feel the rise and the fall as you take each breath. While on each out breath, you are releasing any tensions. Yes. And now your belly. And release any tensions being held there. Your back. Your buttocks. Your hips. Especially the women that are listening. We hold so much tension in our hips. Release that tension. Let it just slide down your legs. Slide down your thighs, to your knees, down your calves, to your feet, and let all that energy just flow out the soles of your feet. Beautiful. Now that we are totally relaxed and comfortable and safe in our meditation room, I would like to go over the gift of the blessing. And how do you apply this gift of the blessing when it's an event that hurts us? Well, we may look at the parameters of that hurt. I'm going to use an example of the current wars going on in the world today. Three things are happening. Men, women, and children lost their lives. Soldiers took their lives. You and I are left behind to witness. Those become the opportunities where the blessing may be applied. Something amazing happens when we bless the things that have hurt us the most. For example, what happens when we say, bless those men, women, and children who gave their lives so that we may know ourselves in their passing. Our world is different now that they're gone. We have to make sense of that difference and what that means. That is the first step. The second one may be the biggest challenge for some people. What if we say, bless the soldiers that took their lives? Bless the soldiers that took the lives of the men, women, and children. This is important. It doesn't mean we agree with what they did, that we consent or condone what they've done. It is our acknowledgement that they are playing out a role that is sacred in nature as part of all that is. Although we may not understand in this moment, it may not make sense to us. It is part of all that is. And we're simply acknowledging that unity. How may we transcend the polarity of this world if we continue to respond only the blessing? That's good. We bless the men, women, and children. But the soldiers, what about them? Well, forget about those guys. They're the ones that took their lives in the first place. Well, that is the thinking that led to this experience. It takes a powerful, masterful being to find a place within themselves where they can bless that which has transpired, which has hurt them deeply. And this is one of those places where words may fail. This is one of those places where you must experience it for yourself. That is the second opportunity for the blessing. So we bless the men, women, and children who gave their lives so that we may know them in their passing. And now we bless the soldiers that took those lives. The soldiers now know themselves in the taking of a life. That is a hard one for some people. The last one is the one that's been left out in the West, and that is us. Bless us in the witnessing. We are the ones that have to make sense of it all. We are the ones that are left behind. Those three codes of blessing, I believe, hold such potential for healing, and I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in the lives of others, and they're so subtle. Please don't be deceived by the subtlety. Please bear in mind that when you bless, you're simply acknowledging that what you have experienced or witnessed is a part of all that is. As you sit down with your family and watch the news and your children see the outrageous events that are transpiring now at the close of this cycle, shift of the ages, the 0 point, where we are being pushed to the extremes of emotion and who we believe we are through outrageous events, some of them that cause a lot of pain. I ask the question, what choice do we have other than to rise above the polarity that hurts us in the first place? The other choice is to remain a part of the polarity and to be angry and to judge. This is where discernment comes in. I believe discernment is a powerful tool to recognize what we no longer choose to have in our world and then make it so by rising above that polarity. Do we turn our backs and walk away from the things that hurt us and disown them, or is there another way? Can we find a way to rise above the goodness or the badness or the rightness or the wrongness? Can we discern what we no longer choose to have while still being there in a form of love and support? The gift of the blessing allows for that possibility. Now, clearly, I would never choose to persuade or convince anyone of anything. These are simply possibilities that I'm outlining. I am fleshing out our knowledge of history and the possibilities of what our lives may mean to us through tenets and codes and texts that were taken out of our history and circulation 1700 years ago. I invite you to take this possibility, and if it works, if it makes sense, and you find a place for it in your life, then you have got it right in this moment. Embrace it and live what it means. But if you hear these words and they make no sense to you whatsoever, the magic is you cannot unhear them. So I'll invite you to place them into a file folder somewhere in your memory called possibilities, and to hold on to whatever belief systems have brought you into this moment, because they are serving you very well. And the moment that one of those belief systems fails you, rather than struggle trying to hang on and make that old belief system work, let it go with grace. Bless it and let it go. Come back to this file folder called possibilities and allow for what this code of compassion and blessing may mean in your life. Now, I will give you time to use the gift of the blessing in any circumstance or event that you are called to bless. Remember the 3 steps. 1, bless who was hurt, injured, or killed. 2, bless who hurt the person or people. 3, bless yourself and all that was left behind as witnesses. Now I'm going to give us between 5 and 10 minutes to go on our own journey as you see fit. Now, I would like us to take a few deep breaths together. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now we are going to start thinking about coming back to this time and this place, the here and the now in this transmission. And I'm going to count to 5. And on that count of 5, you will be wide awake, feeling better than before, like you've had a wonderful nap, eyes wide open, feeling better than before. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Coming up very nicely and slowly. 4. You can start moving around a little bit, getting yourself moving. And 5. Eyes wide open, wide awake, feeling better than ever. I want to thank you for joining me in this gift of the blessing. Welcome back. That was so lovely. You know, there were like 3 different things that I worked on, and I'm not going to ask anyone to share because everything is so very personal. But I will say, you know, welcome to Eileen. And she said, it feels close to eternity and God in my heart. Thank you, Eileen. Hi, Mickey.
Hi, Sue.
I feel wonderful.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, yeah, I feel good.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
I don't know, what'd you think of the music? Was that okay?
I especially loved the music.
Oh, yay.
I really did. Yeah, that added a dimension that was I didn't even realize I missed until it
Uh,
was added. And yeah, that was nice.
Audrey said, this was wonderful. At the end, I received a personal blessing. Oh God, I love that. She said I loved it too. And she also loved the music. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Audrey.
That's great.
And that's something that we've been saying too, is like what you put out, you get back. You know, that
Exactly.
is the way things work.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I was reminded as I was coming out, reminded to say to, like all the admonition I was doing about the feelings of safety and, work on that and stuff. And so, well, just be aware that there's a rhythm to it. Remember, we talk about how there's the up part of the curve and the under the line, the horizon part, and then the up and the down. That's the resonance. It's so much a part of the universe. So it was to understand that to understand the universal play of energies that move between periods of expansion and contraction, and expansion and contraction. And I said that to bring in expansion because Jupiter is also part of this configuration. It's square to uh, Saturn. And so there's a kind of conflict or tension between the periods of expansion and contraction. You will find that something comes up and then it goes away, but then it comes back, and then it goes away, and then it comes back. So that's a natural thing. Don't worry about that because all of life is like that.
Right. It's like our breath.
That's it. That's the main contraction and expansion that rules all of life. Without it, you would not be here.
Right.
You couldn't live without breathing.
Right.
So it's the breathe in the good air, breathe out the bad air, breathe
Yep.
in the good.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm quoting Lamb Chop. There
Yeah.
are some of you who are old enough to know who Lamb Chop is. I'm
Uh,
not going to explain. You
wasn't
can
she
Google it.
wasn't Sherry the one that had lamb chop?
Oh, see, you're telling them.
I'm
You have
dating
to
my,
Google it.
I'm dating myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You'll find out who Lamb Chop is.
That's
And my
right.
other
Yeah.
name like that is Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah. And as you were talking about that, I thought about the Buddhist tradition of Tonglen, which
Oh yeah,
is which is breathing just the opposite. It's breathing in people's pain and exhaling to good, to
yeah,
ease. So
right,
yeah, breathing it's so important. It's the first thing we do in meditation and the last thing we do.
right,
Yeah.
right. And it's something you know.
Well, I was very concerned about all of this. Now, I know where Audrey lives. She's going through the same heat wave we're going through. So it's like almost 100 degrees here.
Right.
I've got fans on and air conditioners just trying to keep cool enough to not, cook myself. Um, but it does it causes worry, it causes concern, and it gives you time to think about, you know, safety, right? And that's our physical safety. Then there's
Yeah.
our personal safety, there's our emotional safety. I mean,
Safety.
yeah. So find your buddy, whoever that is, and hold tight, and we'll get through this together.
We'll get through this. We just keep walking, keep walking,
Yeah.
keep walking.
That's right. Walk forward. Don't look back.
That's a lot of.
Mickey, I love you.
I love
Every
you
time
too.
we get together, it is such a joy and a pleasure in my life.
It fixes my day. It's this thing that keeps coming around, and I'm like, "Phew, I made it. Oh, good. I got it
Yeah.
again. Oh, wonderful. You
I,
know.
I know I should tell people when we're done, we both go, phew, another one. Now I see all these little heart bubbles floating up. So
Oh, that's
people,
nice.
yes,
I
thank you,
love those.
everyone.
Yeah. I love you too, Steve. I do.
And I
Always
love
love
each
you.
one of you out there too.
Yeah. And I send some very special, caring, and support energy without.
Karen said thank you both.
Oh,
Thank you
that's
for being here, Karen, and sharing with us.
fine. I was just thinking her name when you said that.
Ah, I love
I'm
it. I
not going
love
to say
it.
it again, but I really can't wait to talk to this lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
asked a lot today. What do
And
you know about?
she did. And I want to let people know, though, that the new moon in the northeast, well, in
Hmm.
the eastern hemisphere, whatever, wherever we are, 6:31 a.m. in New York.
Yeah, yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 a.m., 11:31 for you?
Yeah,
11,
yeah,
okay.
about that. About the
Um, And the next time we're going to get together, the full moon is going to fall on when? I don't even see a full moon on here. Oh, there it is. Full moon is the 10th of July at 4:37 p.m.
hmm.
So we'll probably get together the day before, but I will get that on Facebook for everybody. I thank everybody for showing up and caring enough to go on
Great.
this journey with Mickey and I.
Yeah, this is great. And I'm loving the lighter vibe in the house. I mean, I needed it so much.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I will get busy editing and get it up on YouTube for everybody. Because I keep getting notifications. Last month's is being deleted right now from Facebook.
Hmm.
So they aren't keeping them anymore. So you can always click on the YouTube links or the Speaking with Kate links and be taken there. So they're not gone, they're just gone from Facebook.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Oh,
you, everyone.
we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye bye.